trade it like that until it breaks out of this range. Lower extreme of the range is down near 6230s. Upper extreme, we pushed it today, but up near that 6265 area. I am looking for a close above 6250, which is that December 18th candle high, for our next push up. If we can't find any buyers up there, bad buyers become great sellers eventually, and maybe they sell us back into this range on a pullback before our next leg up. Uh, so if I'm trading the equities today, shouldn't say the equities because I do want to go over the Dow and the Russell, which look a little bit different, and look different than the Nasdaq and the S&P yesterday. But if I'm looking at the S&P and the Nasdaq, it's in range, in value. Stay patient is what I'm telling myself for fast markets, and then looking for opportunities near these extremes. All right, let's go over to the Nasdaq and take a look at the daily chart over here. Little different. This looks like a topping pattern, right? Where we had 8 days in a row to the upside in the Nasdaq. Yesterday we closed red. We saw tech be a little bit heavier than anything else. Tesla selling off with the fight between the president and Elon, maybe picking back up again. We saw Nvidia selling off as well. So uh, the Nasdaq was a lot heavier than the other equity markets yesterday. I think it closed down 0.9%, uh, point around 0.8%. It closed down. So let's take a look here. Again, that December 18th candle. I've been keeping my eye on this candle for uh, since we got back up here in this range. We did have a close above it on Monday, but we can see we're starting to accept back inside this range, selling off a little bit here. Nasdaq trading 22,600s. If we really do get a sell off this week, I'd be looking at 50% of this range down at 22,270 as a potential target to the downside. I'm not bearish these markets, but healthy pullbacks are necessary in markets that are making uptrends, and I think that's what we might be seeing here. We also have the 20 moving average on the daily down at 22,210, so right around that 50% area. Just looks like a visual target here for a potential pullback if we were to get it. To the upside, what I'm looking at, the high of that December 18th candle is 22,813. Let's go down to a 30-minute chart and take a look at what we have going on here. So, a couple of things right now on the half an hour chart in the NASDAQ, we are under the 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart. If you talk to Coach Paul, who I do at the buzzer with every day, he would be looking to short under this 200 moving average. And if you can see it, once we settled below it on the day, we start to see volume coming in and pushing us to the downside. That ADP number wasn't great. Uh, and maybe expediting this move to the downside a little bit. Let's take a look at where value is in the Nasdaq. So right now we would be opening below value from yesterday. Value area low is 22,632, right? Just eyeballing it there. We'd be opening below that right now, and potentially seeing a rotation down to 22,500s. Let's take a look. We have this value area at the beginning of the week was a lot higher. We saw the heavy tech day yesterday where value moved lower. And so far today, we would have value areas kind of overlapping right now. We didn't get to the highest volume session of the day yet, right? We do have the New York session where most of the volume is going to trade. We'll see whether or not sellers keep control of this market. Um, we're at the low of yesterday's range. Yesterday's low was 22.5. What was that price? 22,594 half. We're kind of trading there right now. Can we see some acceptance below this price? And if so, there is some room down. I'm looking at this 30-minute candle here, which was 8:30 Central Time on the 26th, so last Thursday. Looking at that range, right? The high of that range, 22,567. 50% of that range, 22,522. I'm looking at, if you can see on this 30-minute chart, I'll clear this up a little bit. But since that candle printed, we really haven't tested that range again. So I'm just kind of looking at this as an untested range. Uh, does the market accept back inside these prices? We'll take a look at some of the tech names to see if they're still heavy. I would imagine they are if you see the Nasdaq selling off this way, but Nasdaq looking the heaviest out of all the equities. Uh, for the opening call, I'm going to go over the Dow and the Russell as well. Um, we have, and it looks a lot different, right? If I pull up the Nasdaq chart, you can see it's kind of turning a little bit. We were talking on fast markets yesterday about rotation, and the Dow and the Russell have the most room to play catch up towards their all-time highs, right? We saw the Nasdaq take out an all-time high. The S&P spot S&P cash S&P took out the all-time high. The futures didn't, but the Dow's a lot further away. Right? We're still about 3.5% off that all-time high, and it had a great day yesterday while the Nasdaq sold off. Right, from the open to the close yesterday, we had a 1% move to the upside in the Dow. So if you are looking for an equity market that has been rallying, maybe has the potential to continue rallying, again, anything we say here is for educational purposes only, not investment advice. But the Dow looked pretty strong yesterday. Let's take a look at the half an hour on the Dow. Much different than what we see in the Nasdaq. We're above that 200 moving average on the 30-minute. We're holding the 50 as a support right now. The 50 is at 44,785. And if we look at that value area that we saw moving lower in the Nasdaq, it's moving up here, right? And I'm looking at this shaded area on this volume profile. It moved up. We have value, we have point of control at 44,830. Volume point of control at 44,830. Um, there's a lot of volume that traded up in this area yesterday, though, right? So for every buyer, there is a seller. There was probably a passive sell presence up here. So can the we are opening, we are opening in the Dow in value at the upper extreme of value. Can we find new buyers to continue pushing price higher would be the question. If not, there is a lot of low volume down here that we may revisit. If Hogue was showing these on TPO charts, they would probably look like a couple of single prints. So there is, if we do get a sell-off in the Dow, I'm looking at 44,600s potentially as a pullback area. All right. And let's take a look at the Russell as well. The Russell, what I'd be looking for this to do, and shout out to Coach Paul. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, where the Russell is actually the only equity index that is under the 200 daily moving average, and we can see it testing it here. It's this white line on my charts, that 22.21 evens, and we haven't been able to close above it. We've tested above it yesterday. We tested above it in the overnight session tonight, last night, but still no close above. So if I'm trading the Russell, I'm looking at how the market responds at this 200 moving average, 22.21 evens. We'll go down to a 30-minute chart. Again, another market that's above that 200 moving average on the 30-minute. But is this just a blind buy? It's not. This market is still the
Order
weakest
filled.
of the four equity markets that we have, and that's for a good reason, right? The 2,000 components that are in the Russell, whatever they are, aren't as volatile as some of the tech names where we see huge percentages in tech to the upside and the downside. There's a lot more probably stable companies price wise in the Russell, and we're not seeing them
Order filled.
move as much. We do have value area moving somewhat upwards for this week. Uh, Point of control, we're kind of sitting at volume point of control right now. It is at 22.14, we'll call it, and the Russell trading 22.15.6 right now. Keep my eye on this market. Again, that 22.21 price is an interesting one here. Uh, we are kind of filling some of these single prints potentially. We have a flat overnight inventory where it was long, and we see the sell-off starting in that London session, which we see in all the equity markets. So uh, the question is, when we come in for New York for all of these equity markets, what is the sentiment, right? Are we selling? Are we buying the Dow and selling the Nasdaq? I think I would not be surprised to see range contraction on a couple of these markets because of all of the news that we have coming out tomorrow. But anything can happen, so just be prepared. Uh, Eddie got some news in the chat here. Trump expected to meet with House GOP lawmakers today. Thank you, Eddie. Seeing if they can
You're
pass that bill. Darth Buddha says, "I think large money is on vacay." Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, right? If out in the Hamptons somewhere on a yacht, not really thinking about the markets, letting the interns take control, let them place their trades, just keep the market stable until we come back. Uh, would not be surprised. And Charles, you said it. The Russell is under the all-time high as well, well under, right? We look at the Russell. We are almost, we're still 12% off the all-time high, which if it's going to play catch up, it has a lot of room to do it. Some of these, the past couple of days we've been seeing in the equity markets, the Russell is actually the percentage leader to the upside when it gets moving. And it's not surprising, right? Where we have the NASDAQ at highs, we see the range contracting a little bit. Uh, and we're seeing some bigger days. Yesterday, high to low, we didn't close that high, but yesterday, high to low in the Russell, there was almost a 3% move.
Order
well, Trump
filled.
coming out here with
Oh,
Truth Social.
just realized I
Um,
was on mute, Eddie. My bad. Go ahead.
no, as president of the United States, I'm not going to let the communist lunatic destroy New York. Rest assured, I hold all the levers. I have all the cards. I'll save New York City. I'll make it hot and great again, just like I did with good old USA. It's coming from Truth Social.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you,
What I
Eddie.
what I was saying before I went on mute was the Russell had almost a 3% high to low day yesterday, where we saw the range contraction in the Nasdaq and the S&P. So I know it's not talked about a lot on Top Step TV, but there are other equity markets to trade, and maybe taking a look at those if the Nasdaq and the S&P are kind of chopping around. Let's go over crude oil before we open here. We do got about 8 minutes to the crude oil open. Can a president run for mayor? I don't see why not. Is any rules against that, Eddie? Can a president run for
I,
mayor?
you know what? I think he's got a
Sitting president?
position already. I don't think he can.
Maybe after his term is done.
Yeah.
Maybe
Then
after his
he's
term is done.
free. He's unemployed.
Right. All right. Let's take a look at crude oil. Crude oil on a daily. This has been a market that has we've been when we review this, it's been pretty quick. It's a market that's in balance over the last 6 days. We can see on a daily, the 200 moving average is a flat line. It's right at 65.40. And basically, the trade has been sell it above the 200 moving average on the daily, buy it back below. And if we know crude oil, it can be extremely volatile or it can be extremely range bound, right? We've seen it last year sit in a $2 range for 3 months. Um, and we're seeing maybe today for this session so far. I know we have inventories coming out today, but that 200 moving average on the daily maybe starting to act as a support here. But I'm going to be honest, if I look at this market, I don't see a ton of opportunity, but that's just with the way I trade, right? These, like we said, buy it under the 200, sell it above the 200. Maybe we're seeing some price action. Overnight inventory is long currently in crude. This upper extreme of the range was right around these 66.50. So I don't hate selling it here, and we can see the market kind of turn around. Um, the question would be for a short, if I was to take a short here, uh, is it a move that's going to play out for the rest of the day, or do we just get back down to that 200 moving average? Um, if I'm trading energy markets, for me, I've been trading natural gas, which we'll go over as well. I'll show you why I've been trading natural gas over crude oil, to me, presenting some better opportunity. But we do see on a 30-minute chart that 200 moving average on the 30-minute, which is down at 65.39, same place the daily 200 moving average is. Last night, in the London session, we came down, held it as a support, and seeing a nice bounce off of it. We have VWAP for the session so far at 65.85. Uh, so looks decent. Maybe something got into crude last night, woke it up a little bit. We are trying to test the upper extreme of this range. Just not a lot of opportunity I see in this market, which is very balanced. But I want to go over to natural gas really quick. And a different story here, right? Natural gas can be a scary market to trade, especially if you're thinking about holding over the weekend. But for a day trade, I think it's a great market to trade. Presents a ton of opportunity. Percentage wise does move a decent amount. To start the week, we had an 8% down day in natural gas. High to low yesterday, we had a 5% move. So there is opportunity in it. But like any market, if you're going to trade it, make sure you manage your risk and understand that it is a volatile and can be a volatile market, right? So you don't want to over leverage or trade without stops or anything like that because this market can cost you your account. But I'll be looking at natural gas as well on a daily. Let's take a look. We are under the 200 moving average on the daily. We did have that 8% down day, and it looks like we may have found a bottom yesterday. So I may be looking at 50% of that Monday's range as a potential target in that gas here if we can accept inside of it, right? We can see where we opened, kind of right at the low of that range. If we start to find some buyers above yesterday's high, I'm looking at 50% of that range as a potential target. 3,583 is that price. We do have on the 30 minute. If I was to get long in this market, 200 moving average on the 30 minute, which is also near Monday's value area high. So if I do get long, 3,515 is that price. So if I do get long, that's a potential management target right there, where we do need to see some buyers step in, accept price above that range, above that price, above value to then trade up to 3,583. All right, is the stream stuck? I think we're good. James Bond,
The
hit
stream
the
is
hit the
not
play button.
stuck.
Hit the play button.
Please
Hit
hit
the play button.
refresh.
All right, we got crude opening in a couple of minutes here, um, and we'll take a look at what happens. I have a I'm gonna keep a natural gas chart up as well, JD. I know you're gonna look at that 1 minute opening range in crude.
Hmm.
I'll keep nat gas up on the side as well.
One
Uh,
of the things before we hit top of the hour here, um, we did see that the crude prices right now we're looking at around 66.09, around that 66 level. But we got to keep an eye out open for the progress towards the Israel Hamas ceasefire. Also, we have to watch for this build in the upcoming OPEC meeting coming up here. Now, the President Trump did say that last night Israel had agreed to conditions needed to finalize a 60-day ceasefire with Hamas, also urging the Palestinian group to accept the deal. So we'll keep an eye open here. Also, yesterday, our API number said that the inventories grew 0.68 million barrels in the week of June 27th. A bill that followed 5 weeks of deep outsized draws by the U.S. stockpiles. So we also got our EIA coming up here a little later on today. So you trading crude? Pay attention. Back to you guys.
awesome. Thank you, Eddie. Hopefully we can
Thank
come
you
to
so
a
much, Eddie.
agreement there. All right, we got
So
a
our
minute.
crude oil opening range trade. Say again, Jay? 1 minute?
No, I said we
Here we
got a
go.
minute until that
Yep,
open.
we
Go
got.
ahead, JD.
I was going to talk about our opening range trade in crude oil from yesterday.
Okay.
We held that trade into the close. We held it for the auto liquidator. We made, I think, $37 on the trade. We got in at 8:01 Central Time, and it was covered by the auto liquidator just after 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time, and we made less than $50 on it. Just so everybody's updated. I know we didn't give an update on that yesterday going into the close. Now you know. But we did not lenny it. We didn't touch that trade. Held it all day long.
Wow. That just goes to show you a balanced market, JD. Like I said, I don't hate crude shorts here. Uh, my thought process is, am I gonna wait 12 hours for a for a 20 tick trade? Is it worth the
Yeah,
mental
right.
capital of sitting in that trade? I mean, I guess you could set it and forget it. You just don't look at it.
Yeah, which we might do here also. We
Yeah.
got yesterday's high 65.98. Got real close to that. Crude is open for business, by the way. Ding, ding, ding. The bell is rung. Crude oil is open. Should we look at a 1 minute or a 3 minute? Hoag's not here. The cat's away.
Let's look at a 1 minute. Let's keep it at a 1 minute.
Stick to the plan. Yeah, don't
Stick
deviate.
to the plan. Darth Buddha says, "How many
First lady
white hairs
wants
are
to
you
know.
willing to invest?" Not
First lady
enough.
wants to know what our max profit was. We hit like 1.5 R, so right around, I don't know. I think our max was right around like 250, somewhere around there. It never went heavy uh, in our favor. If that makes sense. 6601 low. We're gonna stop to enter below. Gonna stop to enter above. 9 tick opening range. I'm looking at micros also here, guys.
Yeah, I think that's a
Could
good
be a
call.
tight one.
Do you have
Overnight
a preference
inventory, Jay was talking
for
about.
trade?
I mean, we're bouncing off of yesterday's high. We bounced off it a couple of times, and we just got tagged into a long position. So it doesn't matter what my bias is anymore. We are long.
There we go. Bias is alongside then. Let's go buyers. We got volume point of
Yes,
control for the session so far at 66.22 and a VWAP at 65.85.
65.85. Yes, I have a overnight view up at 65.79. Right around there. Got a
Oh yeah,
9 EMA
micros
in the
and minis
5 minute at
are different.
yeah, micros and minis. Little different. Not much, but there's nuance involved. uh what was it the other day? We were trading micro gold, and I got tagged out on a stop at a price that the minis didn't even touch.
Yep.
So a little bit different,
Yeah. And
just
then
a
and then
bit.
it rallied from there. That was a good trade. I remember that. That was a great trade. We had it on, and it was
Yeah.
one that took all day. Hogue was talking about that gap fill. What it
Mhm.
eventually did. Just game of ticks.
A game of ticks is right. Big pop in the NQ. Let's check it until. Let me refresh my screen again real quick. Just to make sure tilted data is accurate. We've got 66% long in the ES, 74% long in the NASDAQ, 54% long crude, and 68% long gold. Long across the board. Average long in the ES, 62.43. Average long in the NQ, 22.633. Crude oil not getting too heavily tilty to either side right now. Roughly 50-50, which I'm okay with. It's a tilt. If you've been paying attention to the tilt the last couple months, one in crude oil specifically, once that tilt gets around 80%, it's usually a bit of a leading indicator about what the next move might be. So,
Interesting.
one eye on the ditch, one eye on the tilt. That's what we're doing today.
He said ditch with a D. Yes.
With the D. With the
With
D.
a D. Yes.
But yeah, thanks for that those chart updates. Coach Jay looked at some markets that we don't typically cover during the opening call. Went over the Dow, the Russell, natural gas. That was great. Thank you, Jay.
Oh yeah, thanks, JD. I didn't go over gold yet. If we want to do that real quick, and
Yeah,
then we'll get back to this
let's jump
crude oil
into
trade.
gold.
All right.
Looks like our
So
out is validated. Came
yeah,
back and
yeah,
kissed
it is.
that 33.6160. Came back and kissed that again. Now we're making our way back lower. But continue, Jay, please.
Yeah. So gold, really quick. Gold has been seeing a little bit of maybe a relief bounce in gold. I'm looking at a daily chart here, and We made all-time highs in gold 70 days ago, 71 days ago. And since that point, we've kind of been in this range. Uh, we did have rollover, so prices adjusted, but we've been in the range and we're kind of sitting right in the middle of it. If we look at a daily, the 20 and 50 moving averages, which is 20 is the yellow one here on my chart, purple is the 50. Uh, we spent the most time under the 50 moving average on the daily that we had all year. And then yesterday we came back up and tested both of them. So today, what I'm looking at, the 20 moving average is at 33.6590. The 50 is at 33.4740. We're kind of opening right in the middle of that. I think gold has some decisions to make. We've seen the equities rally. Uh, it's questions about whether or not that correlation is actually there, right? Do we see equities rally and gold sell off? But I think just off of a feel basis, right, we've seen equities rally and gold selling off. Does that continue to happen? Can we see them both rally together, uh, or does something change here? But gold has some decisions to make if it wants to continue the rally that it's been on for the last however many years. Uh, if we look at a shorter time frame, go down to a 30-minute chart, we are above that 200 moving average on the 30-minute, which is down at 33.25, which would have me thinking longs in gold, but higher time frame, we have the 20 moving average that's right above us here in this 60 area. This could be a nice spot to look for shorts in gold as well. If we look at
And a big jump here. A little chatter in Tesla. Tesla taking a jump.
Tesla up 7%.
Tesla popped.
Whoa. So a
All of a
big,
sudden,
take a look at NASDAQ
I'm
there. There we
getting a
go.
delay here. I'm not showing that pop yet, but Tesla, what? Just I had it earlier down 5.5%.
Hmm. Maybe
Yeah,
they,
Tesla.
maybe they're friends again. Maybe they're friends again.
Are
Uh,
they playing us? Are they tugging
yeah,
at our
right,
heartstrings and
right.
manipulating the market? Is this insider trader
Delivery
behavior?
numbers. Yeah.
Real life episode of House of Cards. Uh,
Yeah, right.
just last thing on gold, point of control from yesterday, 33.50s, value area low, got it around 33.4780. We
Same
right
here.
now, if we open here, when gold is technically open, we are in range and in value from yesterday. Uh, if we start to accept price lower than that value area low, 33.47, I do see a potential rotation back to that 200 moving average, 33.25. That is about it. Let's take a look. We got about 20 minutes before fast markets.
Yep.
Man,
So for gold, as Hogue would say, opening in range, in value, sit tight and wait for better trade location. We'll find it. Checking back in
Yep.
on our crew trade, we are sitting right on top of our entry price, 66.11. We're up one tick. Single little ticky.
JD, you mentioned something. Sit tight, and Hogue always tells us that about sitting tight. What's
Sure
a good
does.
practice? I mean, it's really tough. I tell you, when these markets are moving and people are talking, and you're seeing conversation in the chat, and you're sitting there wondering, okay, where can I get in? When do I get in? Why do I get in? A good way to practice patience. I'm going to ask both of you guys that question for a quick answer.
Hmm. Best way to sit tight and relax, walk away from your screen. You can't get in trouble if you're not sitting at your desk, right?
Yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
you can. You
I
can get
tried that with
plenty
my
of trouble
wife, and she
elsewhere.
follows me. Right? Yeah. Okay. But you're right. You're right. That'll solve the problem. Jay, what's your deal with patience? How do you deal with
uh,
that?
I think exactly what JD said. Either stepping away, or sometimes what I do, if I realize like I'm leaning into my desk, I'm sure some of our younger traders have seen the meme of the guy playing video games, and he's like, "All right, it's time to lock in," and he leans forward. When I start doing that in my trading, it's like you're trying to make something happen that's really not there. So just leaning
Yep.
back in your seat. Shout out to Doom with the recliner at his desk. Just sitting in a more comfortable position might you know influence patience where if I'm like super zoomed into a 1 second chart, it's like, hey guys, this is not an arcade, this is not a video game. uh, relax a little bit.
Cool. All right. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
You nailed it there, Jay. We're gonna see Doom in just a little bit too, but when he
Yeah.
pops up on screen with that lazy boy
Yep.
smoking a stogie, gets me every
Just chilling.
time.
This is
God
Very
bless
smart.
that
relaxed.
man. Doom's coming up on fast markets in just a little bit. Jack. Jay's gonna be there. Coach Jay's joining us for another extended period today. Doom, and we might see a drop in from the trader in chief, Mr. MP. Doom's in the chat. There he is. Good morning, Mr. Doom.
Ooh. Dude had one of the coolest jackets at our meetup.
Yeah,
Really
wasn't it?
cool jacket. Yeah, that was a really cool people with cool clothes. Not me.
Still nothing doing on this crude trade, guys. 66.11 is our entry. 66.08 last trade. Pretty flat.
Let's take a
Looking
look,
at
see if
gold
natural
chart.
gas did anything. Natural gas would have triggered a short on a 1 minute opening range and is still inside that 1 minute opening range as well.
Yeah. Taking a little bit of heat now. Not much. CYA is down at 65.81. I got an overnight VWAP right there also, 65.80. Stay away from there. Stay away from there.
Well, hey, if you're just tuning in earlier today, we had that ADP number, employment change, and the previous was 37,000, and they were looking for about 98,000 here, coming in at negative 33K. My goodness, here. Crazy stuff.
Huge, huge miss in
I'll be right
private
back.
payrolls.
Uh, Someone called it out in the chat. I think it was Gary who said the Tesla delivery numbers were reported. So that could be why.
Oh, okay. Are
I mean, they came in
they
under
selling more
estimates.
cars?
They came in under estimates. Estimates was 389,407. Came in at 384,122.
That's not a big miss.
Negative 13% year over year.
That's
Bad
kind of
news
a
is
big
good news, I
miss.
guess.
Yeah.
Sell less cars, price goes up.
Yeah, right? What's that all about? Supply and demand just doesn't seem to be working the way we were taught these days, right?
Right.
Taking a little
Sell less
more heat
cars
on
focused
this
on
crude
humanoids.
trade. What'd he say?
Sell less cars, focus on humanoids. I guess that's what they're doing, right?
Focus on humanoids, yes.
We're not a car company anymore. Selling robots.
They're going to start implanting USB ports in the back of babies' heads at birth pretty soon. The humanoid takeover is upon us. I see Doom in the green room. It's going to be a great fast markets today, folks. Again, tomorrow we've got a shortened trading day, shutting it down at noon, 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time tomorrow. But we have some big numbers coming out before that. We've got the June jobs report. NFP day is tomorrow, not Friday. Markets are closed on Friday. So be very, very careful if you're in the markets. 7:30 tomorrow morning, 7:30 Central Time tomorrow morning. A couple of different numbers. International trade in goods, jobless claims, the employment report. Big day for numbers tomorrow.
Big day.
Factory
Big day to
orders,
end the week.
ISM services index. Yeah, big data on the week. And of course, ye old Baker Hughes rig count coming out at noon, right as we'll be shutting down the stream.
JD, you got plans for the 4th?
My wife has some family in from out of town, from Tucson, Arizona. Got some in-laws in town, so we'll be driving back and forth through the suburbs all weekend.
Okay.
That will be my thing.
Nice.
driving people around, and maybe find a couple good spots to go eat. That's about it. How about you?
There
Big
we go.
plans?
So my friends, one of my friends, his family owns a lake house in New York, kind of upstate New York. So they do a Fourth of July party every year. It's a private lake, and they do a fireworks show out there. So probably be going up there on Friday. The rest of the weekend, just chilling out.
Nice. Sounds like fun.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's like always
Celebrate.
a successful Fourth of July when they take the boat out, do the fireworks show, and everyone comes back to shore safely. There's definitely
With
been
all their
times where
fingers
like
and toes.
yeah, they've like him and his brother have lit the fireworks and like dropped the box in the boat before. It's just like, dude, be
Oh, right.
safe. So whatever you guys are doing for the
Yeah.
fourth, be safe.
Right.
There's not too many things I'm afraid of, but lighting off fireworks is definitely one of them.
Yep.
I don't. I won't do it. Get me away from
Used to
that.
do it. Used to do it. We got a rib fest here in town. We got a 4th of July party. We got bands all weekend starting tomorrow. Yeah, we partied up here in my town.
Nice.
I
Rib
love rib.
fest.
Yeah.
I want to go. I want to go to an Eddie party, a Rib
Oh
Fest
man,
Eddie party.
they have a good. They have a, we got a young mayor, and I think that's part of it. Yeah. So good stuff. Yes, rib fest
Yes, a Rib
with
Fest.
10 different vendors making ribs. Can you imagine that?
Do you go to all 10 of
Rib,
them?
rib war. I don't know, but I'm going to bring a pocket full of money. That's for sure.
Hey, Rich Layton in the chat. Is tilt working? Mine appears not to be moving. Give your screen a refresh, if you please. Mr. Layton. I'll check in on the tilt. Actually, I'll lead by example here and refresh my own screen and give a tilt update. Looking at 67% long in the ES, 69% long NQ, 54% short crude, and 69% long gold. 69%, Eddie's second favorite number. We're seeing a little green on the crude trade now. Jeffrey Baker in the chat wants me to go light off some fireworks. No thanks, I'll be standing far away. I've seen too many accidents.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got to be careful.
You get the same show just watching it. So keep all your
Yep,
fingers.
yep. Have at it. Have all the fun you want. I'll contribute a little money to the show. That's as close as I'm getting. Still, not a whole lot of movement in crude. What's natural gas up to, Coach Jay?
Same thing, JD.
Are we
Kind of just
seeing any
hanging out.
movement there?
No,
Yeah.
we're I'm looking at that 1 minute opening range. We're kind of just hanging out there as well. I do like longs in this market. We did see yesterday the volume start to pick up right around 9 a.m. Central Time in nat gas. So I may keep this up on the side while we're in fast markets, but I do like buying this market. Looking for that rotation up to that 200 moving average on the 30 minute
Very good. Yesterday we were short crude opening range. I mentioned this. We were short all day long from open to
all day.
close. And all day just waiting for that rug pull that's been happening for weeks, but we didn't get it yesterday. That one day that we hold that short, waiting for the rug pull to go our way, doesn't happen. Usually how it works out, right?
Yep.
At about
Hey, it
this
didn't stop
time,
you
Hogue
out.
would be going over. No, never got stopped out. Never got stopped out. Never hit 2R on the trade either. So it was pretty lame, pretty sideways. This is about the time Hogue would start talking about journaling. We have a link to a couple different links. We have our trading checklist and our emotional trading journal. We'll drop those in the chat. Give those a peek. Get to know yourself a little better as a trader and come in prepared for the markets every day. Jay, how's your journal journey going? Are you still marking it down? Everything you do?
Yeah, every once in a while I do. I feel like JD, I'm on Top Step TV so much when I trade that this is my journal. So I will go
Yep.
back and kind of watch like the short that I took yesterday. Sorry, the long I took in the yesterday in the Nasdaq. I did go back and watch that trade, and that's kind of how before being on Top Step TV all the time, I would journal. Right, I would just sit here instead of writing things down, just record my screen, record myself trading, and kind of talk through trades. So I'll still go
Hmm.
back and watch. Um, appearances on Top Step TV to see how I executed and then look at the charts from there. I don't write too much down. I think in a day I probably write about 40 words. This is a couple of lines every once in a while, just kind of reminders to stay locked in the process and things like that. But I think my journal is recorded on YouTube every day.
Yep. Do you find it difficult to go back and watch yourself on TV?
No,
I
it
used to
actually
hate
it
doing
helps a lot. It helps a lot.
it. Yeah.
There are some times where it's just like I'll say something during opening call and I won't trade it during fast markets. And that's a little frustrating. It's like execute on what you said, but going back and watching that and being aware of it helps to execute better uh, when we're here. Right, we
Yep.
say a lot. Right, we talk about a lot of different markets here. I think I talked about 8 different markets for the opening call, so you can't keep track of everything. But when you call out a good trade, you want to take it. Uh, that's what we
Hmm.
get paid for.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. Uh, we are in a crude trade right now. Jay likes it. We are flat. We're sitting seriously right on top of our entry price. Last trade 66.11. We are long 66.11. It's been 21 minutes with very little movement in crude oil.
How's your journaling, JD? Do you journal still every day?
I am a big pen on paper kind of guy. I always have my notepad right next to me on my desk.
Okay.
I'm jotting down notes all day long. Uh, then I go back at the end of the day. I read through them, get familiar with what my mindset was when I was writing that, when I was writing things down. Uh,
Yep.
Not all of it is trading notes. Some of it is has to do with work, types of TV production, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
But I've always got a pen in my hand and a pad of paper next to me on the desk. So jotting stuff down all day,
There you
stream of
go.
consciousness kind of thing, right?
I
Right.
usually have a Crayola in my hand all day long.
Crayola,
Color
the
inside
big
the line,
fat
baby.
ones.
Color inside the
We got a
line.
You
great
hold it
day
like
coming up here, guys and
you hold it
girls.
like a hammer. Yeah, what's
Yeah.
going on, Eddie? What do we got to look forward to?
Coming up here soon, we got the Doom going to be joining Coach Jay, Jack, Andre, and going to get MP in here. We got to get him in here. And also, um, I just want to let everybody know that 11 o'clock here, we got that API sandbox. And Andre, API sandbox for Top Step X. Hoop and Vince, Coach Vince, JD for Lunchbox Trading. And one of the things I wanted to sort of point out is that we've got coming up here at 1 o'clock. We got a special coming up at 1 o'clock. So get ready to have your July started off with the right foot. Mindset coach Robin Dane is going to be with us. It's going to be 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time today. Trading Psych with Robin Dane. And have your questions ready because she is and she'll be answering those. So brainstorm those questions now and then be there at 1 p.m. today also. So keep that in mind. Also, right after that will be Power Hour, end of the day. And we got Andy going to be joining us with the dynamic duo, Andre and Dolby. That's what we got here coming today. Big day today, my friends. Thank you guys.
Nice. Looking forward to Robin Dane. Hogue will be back for that segment also. Otherwise, he's off for the day and the rest of the week. But he's coming back for Robin Dane. She's hilarious. She cracks me up, man.
Yes, she
Uh,
is.
For rapid
Great
for
segment.
rapid fire
Rapid. She's a machine gun.
rapid fire Q&A.
Next question.
Dr. Robin, it hurts when I do this. Well, then don't do that. Next.
Straight to the
Turn your
point.
head. Cough. I said cough. Okay. Next.
She doesn't joke around. Yeah, it's great. Still no action in crude oil. 66.11 last trade. Long from 6611 house account. Man,
That might be an
I do
all-day
like the
trade,
long
JD.
side.
We do have inventory, so maybe that gives us some volatility. It's
A little
an hour
boost,
from
yeah.
now, but
9:30 Central Time. Crude inventories are out. Shubin, what if Robin's watching the show? I hope she is. We're complimenting her.
yeah,
Well,
She's
we're
a
just
fan
about
favorite
ready
too.
to
Everybody loves her.
transition here, guys.
Here we go. We've got about 2 minutes left here together. Let's keep the audience hyped. I'm joking. I'm joking.
You got to be hyped for Doom. Come on, man. Doom, Coach
Coming up
Jay,
next, yeah.
Jack,
Doom's
Andre.
coming up. Uh, Coach Jay, he's on a streak in fast markets. Made $550 yesterday. Locked it up. Came in up a
lock it
thousand.
up.
Dropped a couple bucks, and then locked it up for the day. Locking in profits. That's what we like to see.
Yeah,
Going home with
that
money
thousand
in
bucks
your
came from
pocket.
natural gas.
Did it really?
Yeah,
I got to start looking a little more closely at that market.
yeah, it's a
I'll look
mover.
at a chart. I'll glance at a chart for like a few seconds in the morning. That's about it.
Yeah,
I don't know how the ladder moves. I've never looked at the depth of market. I don't know what size is like. Is it whippy?
right.
What's it what's it doing? But I'll have to check it out a little more closely. Sitting in the green room right now is our man Doom. He's got his feet up on the lazy boy, sipping on a glass of rum. Uh, Coming off a little bit of a red day yesterday, but we're not going to stop him from doing his thing today. Looking forward to Doom in fast markets. It's going to be a good one. All right, folks. Coach Jay, thank you so much for joining us. Eddie, my man, I will see you throughout the day. Coach Jay is
All
coming
right.
back again for fast markets again. So sit tight, relax. We are going to take a short break. Fast markets is coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Turn those machines back on! Turn those machines back on! Turn those machines back on! Turn those machines back on!
All right, let's get the horses in the gates. Let's get the ponies. Let's get everything in the gate because we got a shortened weekend. Look who we got here. We got the Doomster and we got Coach Jay, Jack, and Andre. Andre, good morning, my brother. How are you?
Good morning, Eddie. Look at Doom already ready to run out of the gates. Welcome everybody to Fast Markets. This is Top Step TV. I did the wrong way. Should be welcome everybody to Top Step TV. This is Fast Markets in the lower right hand corner, ready to run out of the gates. We got Doom in the house, upper right hand corner. Jack, you just saw him on opening call. Coach Jay as well. We got about 2 minutes coming in this open. Mr. Doom, what are your thoughts coming in right now?
My thoughts are not to smash equipment because I got kicked out on that high last night. I was short.
No,
But
no.
hey, part of the game, part of the game. You take
What
some.
happened?
I got stopped out. Hey, I'm still here. Uh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I got stopped out too many times. A little too stubborn. I'm very, very, very intrigued to watch the following segment with the psychologist.
God,
Robin,
Dane.
I don't want to butcher her name, but
Robin
my
Dane.
execution is not on point. There's something up here. My focus, my awareness, my presence is not what it was. I gotta figure out what it is. I hit up my guy. You guys saw it on the Top Sip meetup. I hit up my guy last night. I'm going to talk to him Saturday. I actually invited him for 4th of July, but he politely
Ooh.
declined.
Sounds good. We'll talk about, yes, Robin Dane, 1 p.m. Central today with Hogue in the house. Go to Jack. Jack, got about 50 seconds. Thoughts coming into this open.
Yeah, I feel like a Doom 4th of July party would take years off my life.
I'm
We
in.
got about 40 seconds to the open. For those that weren't around earlier this morning, 7:15, we got a pretty crappy ADP number that showed, I think, minus 33,000 jobs. How will that
Yep.
affect non-farm? We're bouncing back right now. Let's see what happens on the open.
All right, let's do it. 30 seconds. Coach Jay, what's up? Saw you an opening call. Thoughts coming in. You got a win streak going on fast markets. Didn't mean to jinx it. We got 74% long in the NASDAQ right now. What's up, Coach Jay? How's it going?
Going pretty well. We are trading at the low of value from yesterday's 635s in the Nasdaq 22,635. Let's see if we get a rotation back up to the upper extreme of value 750s. Market's in balance. I think there was an opportunity to buy on those Tesla numbers. We'll see what happens here.
All right, we are open again. We got 74% long on the tilt in the NASDAQ right now. Last trade, 22,065, 660. 75% long in the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the ES, 62.47 buyers out of the gate. In the ES, take a look at crude. Crude trades 66.09. And we got the house account long. 5 micro gold from 33.61. Last trade, 33.55. 5. High of 33.61.90. Double check that. But right now, keep an eye on the 75% long in the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
In the NASDAQ, as we trade 22,662. 22,662. Yes, Jack, that poor ADP number. I think we saw that last month. Didn't necessarily correlate into what non-farm. Again, non-farm is tomorrow, holiday shortened week. So we'll keep an eye on that, Jack. But it was
I have an
poor.
interesting news story later on that. Yeah, minus
Okay.
33,000. It's really one of those numbers that really was against expectations. They were expecting 98K jobs. Big
Yeah.
moves in service industry. We'll get into exactly which sectors were affected later. Of course, we are in a bull market.
Order
Bad
filled.
news is good news. Good news is good news mode, because this will probably, especially tomorrow, really affect the probabilities for the Fed cutting rates at the end of July.
I didn't make it.
Oh,
Oh,
speaking
crap.
of which,
It
took a
killed
peek
me.
at 4.30%. Take a look. Dow's selling off right now. Dow's been the big mover out of the gates.
Didn't make it.
Yesterday, we saw that big rally.